everyone, this is Jeff here at the Vintage Nest in downtown Mount Holly. Today I have a project that I need a custom color for. I'm going to be shooting for making kind of a hot pink color. In my mind, I'm thinking kind of a flamingo pink color. So I'm going to some Empress Silk Paint by Annie Sloan, and then I'm going to move over to some Old White. Mixing these two colors, I'm hoping to come up with kind of a flamingo pink color. I'm thinking about painting a lamp that color. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. But I just wanted something bright, a bright project, and I think this is gonna really work. All right, guys, we're ready to start mixing paint. So like I said earlier, we start out, I'm using just a little plastic plate, and I'm gonna use this real sophisticated technique of my finger to spread out a little bit of paint. So that's 1 part Empress Silk, and then I'm just going to use my finger, wiped off the red, or most of it, and I'm going to do 3 parts Old White. I'm just going to use my little artisan brush, and I'm going to pull the paints together and just mix them together. Now it looks like all the Old White has been mixed into the Empress Silk, and just kind of to make sure that I have the color I want to put on my project, I'm just going to take a little piece of sample wood, and I'm just going to brush it on down here. Now the beauty of this is I've used very little paint, so I can already tell you this color, even though I like the color, I don't know if you can see this, it's not quite the deeper part of a flamingo that I would like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to put my finger back in here, pick up a little bit more Empress Silk, and I'm going to just combine it with this already mixture. And I'm thinking this color is much closer to the color that I kind of had in my mind for these little special projects I'm going to work on today. I don't know if you can see, but it's getting a little bit darker. So I'm going to go back to my sample piece of wood, and I'm going to apply this. It's just a shade darker, but I think that shade's going to make a huge difference in what I'm going to do today for my project. So again, I'm just brushing on a coat. As you can see, the paint covers very, very well. I like that darker color. I think this is the color that I'm going to go with. So I started out putting 1 part Empress Silk, and then I put 3 more dots of Old White. That was a little bit lighter. That's this color here. I wanted a little bit darker, so I went back in and just added another touch of Empress Silk. So I'm at about 2 parts Empress Silk and 2 parts Old White, and that's the color I think I want. Okay, now that I use my finger and plate technique and an artist brush to mix up the color and paint it on a sample piece of wood, now I'm ready to actually mix the paint that I'm going to use for my project. And in order to do that, I'm going to use one of these measuring cups, if you can see, but it has the ounces along the side. Mine only goes down to 4 ounces, and I think that's about all the paint I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to about halfway with Empress Silk, and then I'll move up, bring it all the way up to 4 ounces, adding the Old White. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and pour my paint. And it's getting close to 2 ounces. So these little sample sizes are actually 4.22 ounces. So I could actually double this if my project requires it. And now I'm just adding in the Old White, and I'm bringing it up to the 4 ounce line. I'm going to just use a stir stick, and I'm going to mix this really, really well. I want these colors really blended together so that I don't have like white streaks or something in it. I don't know, you see? It's really looking good. Really excited about this project. So now that I've got my ratios, it's 2 parts old white, 2 parts Empress silk, and I'm thinking it's close to flamingo, darker flamingo pink. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm painting. I have these couple of gold bird lamps, and I just feel like they need a little something extra. And color is the easiest thing to change about it. So we're going to get started painting these lamps, this flamingo pink color, and see what happens. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our paint project today. Today I'm painting these gold bird lamps. I'm going to just use my oval brush by Annie Sloan, and we're just going to apply the paint. The one thing I love about the oval brush is the fact that it just gets down into all of the places easily. These little bird lamps have a lot of little extra spots, not like painting a flat surface. I'm just dipping a small amount of paint, dipping and grabbing a little bit of it. You can see I can just kind of swirl this brush, and it gets into all these little bird places, indentions, feathers. So a little bit of texture on this. All I'm doing is really kind of just pushing the paint out. I want coverage. It'd be awesome if this color just covered in one coat. That would be great. Which it looks like it is, to be honest truth. If I can hit all the little spots. I am kind of keeping an eye out. I don't want any lumps or anything on this because I honestly don't think I'm going to do any type of distressing on this. I think I'm just going to leave it solid. Now this color is probably not for everyone, but that's okay. That's the beauty of color. We can express our love for color, our personality. Okay, now I'm just going to use my little artist brush and try to just paint this little area right here without like getting the paint on the mechanics of the lamp shade holder, or whatever you call that thing. Now I'm just going to look through. My brush is a little thick to get into a couple of places. I'm just going to take my artist brush and grab those little spots. Like I said, these birds and branches have a lot of little hidden areas that you got to kind of pay attention to. All right, I think we have a very, very good first coat of paint on this, it looks like. All right, so now I'm just going through, kind of just looking over to make sure I don't have like any crazy amounts of paint somewhere that needs to be thinned out, spread out a little bit more. And in just a few short minutes, we have it painted. So I'm gonna set this aside for a moment. Just go ahead and let this thing dry out. I probably will go back and paint a second coat of paint just to make sure that I don't have any shadows or anything like that in the paint. But I'm pretty happy with it. So anyway, I have a couple of more things I'm gonna paint with this. I'll include that later in the video. So anyway, today is all about mixing a color. It's a little bit bold, but I think it's gonna look great. In the location I have for this lamp, I think this is gonna be awesome. I moved upstairs from my studio space. I don't know if you can see, this is a corner cupboard in an area that I'm kind of revamping. It needs like some color or some life over here. So I'm gonna use I'm calling it flamingo dark pink color, which I made earlier today with the Empress Silk and Old White. And I'm just gonna brush it onto this piece and we're gonna see what happens. Painting with chalk paint is just so simple. I'm using my oval brush and just brushing it in. Hey guys, I think this is really turning out the way I wanted it to turn out. I'm still working on this corner cabinet, but it's going on really well. It really is. It's been very simple process. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to finish this and show you guys what this color is going to do to this corner that's been kind of dark plain Jane. Okay, the fun part. Now, when you're getting old, it's kind of hard to get up and down off the floor, but we're down here. We'll paint this lower level, the lower part here by the floor. This is attached to the wall, so there's no moving it. Just have to struggle at the end to get up, but that's okay. Finished painting. I think it's looking really good. I don't see any shadowy places that I'm gonna have to do like a second coat. So I'm just gonna wait for it to dry and then we're gonna get to waxing this. This is really, I can already tell it's already really brightening up this corner of the store. Then I have a couple of pieces of furniture I'm gonna pair with this along with those lamps that I painted earlier in the video. I'm just really excited about this. Anyway, this is just a custom color mix with Emperor Silk and Old White. So far, I've painted this and the two lamps, and it's like 8 ounces of paint. So it's basically two of the sample sizes. So I'm really happy with the coverage and how much mileage I got out of this paint. All right, so I have finished painting and I have waxed it. Now that I kind of look at this, I kind of think that I want a little bit of distressing. The base color of this was white, so I think that would really pop against this. I'm just going to use some sandpaper, and I'm just going to rub along the edges until I start seeing a little bit of this white show through in various places. It's somewhat of a rustic or beat up piece that kind of inherited from another shop here in downtown. But I love the shape of it, and I love that it uses this corner so nicely. Okay, I think I've just kind of scuffed it up a little bit. As you can see, my sandpaper is filling with wax. So as I'm sanding, I keep turning the piece so that I'm letting the sandpaper do the work and not just brute strength. So this is the piece here. Now all I'm gonna do is take, so now I just have my clear wax by Annie Sloan, and I have a wax brush. Like I said before, this has already been waxed one time. One of the advantages to waxing first and then rubbing off the edges is the wax helps soften the paint some, so it makes your distressing go a little bit faster. And when you do the kind of the touch-up waxing, it kind of cleans it all up for you as far as your distressing goes. So I just brushed over the areas that I've waxed or that I've distressed. And I'm just going to take a clean towel and I'm going to wipe off the excess. As I'm wiping off the excess, I'm going to keep turning my towel to a fresh surface. Again, we want our tools to do the work. Your goal in removing wax is to remove the wax. That's what this wiping's for. So excited, it's complete. Yes, it's 2 parts Emperor Silk, 2 parts Old White. I was kind of going for a deep flamingo-ish pink color. And I think it's what I wanted, I think. Anyway, just painted on the paint, then we distressed the edges to reveal it was originally white. So reveal a little bit of the white, added this hardware, placed a few things in it, paired it with these kind of boho-ish bowls for wall decor beside it, as well as this beautiful chair painted in Annie Sloan as well. Some tassel pillows, this graphic chair, and now the bird lamps I painted the same color as the corner cabinet, and it's sitting on an Antibes vanity. If you've been by the store, you know this little guy's been sitting in the window for a while. It's found a new home, more pillows, and one more of these graphic custom upholstered chairs. Anyway, I'm very, very excited about these. I did go ahead and slightly distress the bird lamps. I don't know, this corner started kind of having a feeling of a little bit of a traveled experience, so being perfectly painted just didn't seem to quite fit. But I love the Antibes green, the bright pop of color. Then we have the 2 lamps in the corner cabinet are painted in the same color, pulling that color throughout the vignette. Anyway, we'll be adding some more merchandise to this area as part of our new Weekender department. We have some cool sleepwear, loungewear, socks, you name it. It's all going to be in this little corner here to enjoy on the weekends. Of course, nowadays, working from home, every day you can dress like the weekend except for Zoom call days. Anyway, thank you guys for so much for hopping on my video and watching. I hope you'll follow us on Facebook. We're starting a YouTube channel. This will be another video that will go on that channel as well, so you can catch us there if you prefer YouTube. Again, this is Jeff Lee at the Vintage Nest in downtown Mount Holly. We're located at 119 South Main Street, next to the Wells Fargo Bank. Come out and see us. Thank you. Bye-bye.